We have some breaking news from the NHL. The Penguins now have 2 first-round picks in this year's 2025 NHL Draft. We'll discuss how this came to be and what it means for the New York Rangers, or the team giving them the pick, coming up next. So welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. As I mentioned, we have some fairly significant news around the NHL. We got confirmation today that the New York Rangers are giving their first-round pick in this year's 2025 NHL Draft to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Now, the reason for this is to satisfy the JT Miller trade. So in case you forgot or don't remember everything that went down, essentially the New York Rangers and Vancouver Canucks obviously made a big trade involving JT Miller going from Vancouver to New York. Obviously, the Canucks got Philip Hedl, and part of that package was also the New York Rangers' first-round selection. So like a Hedl Mancini first-round pick. They then took that first-round pick, and then they flipped it shortly thereafter to the Pittsburgh Penguins to acquire Marcus Pettersson and Drew O'Connor, who they then signed to contract extensions. So that pick now belongs to the Penguins, but there was a condition on that pick which gave the Rangers the right to hold on to it this year if they wanted to. It was top 13 protected, and it came in obviously just above that. So obviously they had the option of keeping it and letting Pittsburgh have next year's first round pick, which would then be unprotected. So if they chose to keep this year's, the next year wouldn't matter where it was, it would go to the Penguins no matter what. But obviously the Rangers decided that based on everything they've researched, that this made more sense. I mean, there's been a lot of speculation that they were involving themselves in some trade talks, trying to see if they can move up in the draft. And I think maybe those talks didn't quite go as well as they were hoping for, which may have played a role into this decision here as well. If they could have ended up being successful to move that pick and climb their way up the ladder to get maybe a higher profile player, then maybe they changed their mind on that selection and choice. But ultimately, it's risky not having your first rounder go and not having that protection. I mean, in theory, the Rangers could be better next year, and that pick could be lower, and it might not really be the smartest thing. But obviously, there's also the chance that you could be worse. It's a tough league, and obviously it's not easy kind of turning over a roster and retooling. So I think they're kind of hedging here on the idea that maybe they won't be better next year. And at least if there's a chance that they are the same or worse, that if the pick's higher, they don't have to worry about that stress on giving away a higher pick. It's backfired on teams before. I mean, look no further than it was kind of a couple of years out, but the Erik Karlsson trade. I mean, that San Jose Sharks traded a lot of pieces to the Senators for that, including the pick that landed them Timmy Stützle, which was number 3 overall. Not to mention, like, they got Josh Norris and other players and picks in there too. Like, it turned out at the beginning it looked horrible for Ottawa, but looking a few years later, once they were able to make all their selections, it looked fantastic. So, you just never know. Having a pick be that high and not be yours anymore kind of sucks. I mean, the Senators also had a backfire on them as well in the Matt Duchene trade. Obviously, they had a pick that they had to give up to the Avalanche, and they chose to keep one year versus the other. And I believe the pick that ended up going to the Avalanche was the one they got Bo Byram with, which is a fairly high pick as well. But obviously, they kept the one where they landed Brady Tkachuk. So, all in all, it's worked out, but still, you hate to lose a pick that high, really ever. But when you're trading picks, that's why they put these conditions on them. So we'll see. In the long run, it'll be a little while before we know if the Rangers made the right choice. But ultimately, now the Penguins have 2 first-rounders. Will be back-to-back. I do wonder what Kyle Dubas is going to do here. Obviously, he may not do anything and still may get 2 pretty decent prospects out of this and kind of fill that cupboard because we know that's been a big task of his since he's become the GM there, is to restock the youth in the organization. Or there's been a lot of chatter around teams, and Pittsburgh's been one of them even before they had the second first rounder, that they were trying to move up and see if they can't get a higher profile player. So having 2 first rounders will certainly increase the odds of being able to do that. If you want to package those together, you might not you can walk away with as many prospects, but you may get one that's ranked and theoretically a lot stronger. So we'll see where things go, because the Penguins probably wouldn't have known until today that this was going to happen. I mean, they knew it was probably a possibility, but they certainly couldn't plan and bank on it. But at the end of the day, the Penguins now have 2 first-rounders. The Rangers have 0, but the Rangers are guaranteed to have their first-rounder next year in case they hold on to it. I guess the other thought process with the Rangers as well is if they are a better team and they're trending towards being a playoff team, they'll have that in their back pocket as trade currency to add at the deadline as well. So we'll see what happens. Let me know your thoughts on this decision by the New York Rangers, how it affects the Penguins. What do you think the Penguins can do? What they're going to do? Do they make 2 selections? Do they try to move up? Who should they target? Let me know in the comments. We'll discuss further. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and stick around. We'll keep you up to date with all the news, rumors, and analysis of all 32 NHL teams. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.